get stuck to people just because of how long we've known them. True meaning to some people are only in your life for a season. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah. Today we're gonna be doing a chatty get ready with me. I asked you guys on my Instagram what you guys would prefer, and I feel like the girlies love chatty get ready with me, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm just gonna do my makeup and talk about friendships in adulthood. I asked you guys what you wanted to hear about, so this is gonna be like a little big sis / story time / chatty get ready with me so I can get ready with you guys. And if you want to see how I got this simple everyday for me go-to look, then let's hang out. Before we even start, please, you like the video right now, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to leave a comment at the end. It really helps me, you guys. So let's just do this look. Let's catch up. I'm so happy that you guys love get ready with me's, like chatty catch up get ready with me's. I feel like they're kind of like girl chats. Feels like FaceTime with a friend or like story time. And hopefully I give you guys some like big sis advice. If you guys hear anything, if you guys hear air or anything, the fan is on. The AC is not on because it's cooling down, but I do have the fan on because I just get sweaty while I'm like doing my makeup. So if you hear that, mind your business. Getting ready for the day. We're actually going home to the Bay Area. It's so funny, like I feel like Russ questions like why I still say home even though our home is technically, oh no. Even though this is our home technically now, but I still say we're going home when we're going to the Bay Area. Because if you guys don't know for some reason, or you're new here, me and Russ live in LA, but we're actually from the Bay Area. We've been here we're gonna be going on our 3rd year, but this is gonna be officially 2 years in November. Oh yeah, so it is only 2 years in November. So exciting. I can't believe it. I really, really can't believe it. But I did ask you guys on Instagram what you guys wanted to chit chat and the get ready with me, because listen, I can yap all day long, okay? But sometimes I just need like a topic so I can feel like I'm staying on track or like giving the people what they want, okay? So I did get some requests and I really liked them. The theme was kind of adult friendships, and that's a really big theme in my life. And I think it's because like the more I learn about myself through my horoscope, through my birth chart and all of that, because I am a zodiac girly, a birth chart girly. Sue me, okay? Like that shit is real. If you don't believe it, you're just not self-aware enough, okay? Just kidding, not really. So the more I learn, that like I am in this lifetime to be in relationships, and relationships aren't just like romantic, they're, you know, platonic as well. And I feel that relationships play a huge part in my life, whether it's family, romantic, platonic, like just my life really revolves around them. I'm not made to like go through this life alone, learn everything alone, you know? So I'm very self-aware enough to know that about myself. So I really crave friendship. I really crave relationships. I really thrive with good relationships. So it's a huge part of my life, and I feel that I do a really good job of seeking friendships, and I think that's the part that people want to know the most about, especially as you get older. It changes. When you get older, life changes so much, and obviously there's so much good, and there's also like negative things too. And one of the negative things, in my opinion, let me know if any of you guys agree, or is friendships in adulthood. I feel that it really changes how we make friends, how our relationships work, like our friendship dynamics. Everything just changes because, you know, when you become an adult, unfortunately you get really busy with life, and you get very like focused on your career, your love life. There's a lot going on when you become an adult, but I believe you need friendships to thrive in life. And that's not just my personal philosophy for myself. I do feel that everyone needs friends, and I feel like we don't put enough emphasis on friendships. And maybe another way of looking at it is community. It takes a village to, you know, raise people. It takes a village to thrive. It takes a village for people to thrive, whether you're a child or whether you're an adult. We need relationships as humans. Period, point blank. Okay. So as you get older, you know, friendships are going to change, and that really sucks. For me also, moving played a really big part in friendships. I have also come to the conclusion that in my life, because I grow through relationships, I find myself having a lot of different relationships and different groups and stuff like that. So I'm going to get into that. But one thing that I hate about getting older is how busy everyone gets. And like, I definitely get it. Everyone has their own life, you know, like everyone's in survival mode, just worrying about like how they're going to pay the bills, and, you know, just very like home focused, home centered, and priorities change. And for someone like me who like loves to hang out still, really needs that like human connection with like girlfriends, it sucks because everyone's life is just changing so much, and then life just gets lonely when everyone has kind of like moved on or is like worried about their own thing. For people like me, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I can get lonely really easily when I don't have like relationships in my life. For my own background, like I've had a best friend since childhood. She's still in my life. She's a mom now. So like our lives are just different now, and we're so far apart. But it's the type of friend where we just pick up where we left off every time that we see each other. And I love that so much. But I personally, like, a lot of people will normalize that type of relationship in adulthood, just picking up where you left off, like if you guys can make time for each other. And for me, I've learned like that's just not enough for me. So I have friends for different things that I need in my life, and obviously hopefully I'm contributing to their life in some way too, but I'm talking about it from like my perspective. And like I would not be able to live my life if all of my friends were in that stage of like, oh, I'm just gonna do me, and then like when I see you and we catch up. I need more than that. And so in my adulthood, especially because we moved, one of my favorite things is that we can reinvent ourselves. And also just like we are forced to make new friends. Like we're in our 30s, our mid 30s, and this is the time where people are settling down. This is the time where a lot of our current friends are settling down. They're getting married, they're having kids, you know, they're in that stage of their life, and me and Russ are just not in that stage. And I need friends who aren't in that stage. And then back to being self-aware, I feel like you really need to know what you need as a person and what you're looking for, especially when it comes to any type of relationship. And I had a talk with one of my good friends who I had made in adulthood, my girl who does my brows. Like we got really close through her doing my brows, so I just met her that way, like coincidentally. And we just like, I realized we had a lot in common. We would always have a good time talking while she did my brows. So I was like, you know, like we should hang out. Like we should get lunch, we should get breakfast. Like let's hang out outside of this, because like I always get sad that I have to leave my brow appointment because I feel like we're always having such a good conversation. And I'm gonna hop all over the place because all of this stuff relates, but you know how I am. Oh my God, I feel like I'm almost done with my makeup. Okay, I need to calm down. I have had so many different types of friends throughout my life, and the cool thing about getting older is I can look back on all of this, and if you guys are younger than me, I feel like I can give you guys a little bit of wisdom through my life experience. But I've had friend groups that were based off of proximity, and that's like the people that were just like around you, people you knew through, say, high school or college or work. It's kind of not really people that you chose. Like you might think you chose them because there's a bunch of other people at your school you could have chosen or whatever, but it's kind of people that you were clumped with and you built a relationship with. You know what I mean? So those are people by proximity of people. Like, I feel like I've known a lot of people in my lifetime, tons of different groups. And I've had one really big like friend group breakup, and that was so hard for me. I think more than anything that really hurt my ego. For those of you that do know the story, I'm not gonna like go over the whole story. That was rough for me because I was in my mid to late 20s when I got really close to them, and like we hung out every weekend, we did everything together. It was a bunch of like couples, and there was basically a huge drama that happened within the group, and that made me and Russ leave the group. And that was so hard because we've known these people like 10 plus years, at least 10 years of our life. And you're just like, wow, like this is crazy, because I think society tells us that that you should be friends with people forever. And we kind of latch on to people, we get stuck to people just because of how long we've known them. And it's the same thing as dating. Like, we get so comfortable with people. Humans do not like change. So like we will just accept situations for what they are because we think that's all like that we're like worthy of. And and again, that shows how similar romantic and platonic relationships are. And society has a lot to do with the way we view relationships and ourselves. So, you know, like, it sucks losing friends. It sucks going through something like that. I obviously like hated it. There was a lot of like blaming, and like I could say it was all them, but as I got older, I definitely was able to take accountability for where things went wrong and just see like my part. And yeah, it just was what it was. And I think that was the first time I realized true meaning to some people are only in your life for a season, and that's it. And you know, like I also have friends who I've been friends with even longer than I've been friends with them, and they're still in my life. And so like I just accepted my faults and their faults, and what really helped was just accepting the fact that it was over, and there's nothing, and that it's okay that it's over. It's okay things happened this way, and learning from it and moving on. There's no need to hold on to things that are not working for you anymore, that are no longer serving you as a person. And you don't have to feel bad about it. I think the only reason why we feel guilt and shame and negatively about it is because the way society makes us feel about friendships and relationships in general. You know, there's a lot of societal like constructs around friends and things like that. And also when we watch like reality TV shows, like I'm a reality TV whore, okay? So like you see these like friendships and they're just not authentic. Like for example, I'm watching the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives or whatever, and these ladies are so fake. I'm older than them, and sometimes I feel very young, but when I see things like this, or when I see people in their 20s act this way, I'm just like, wow, like I've definitely am like at a different like maturity level. Just because the way they go about things, the way they talk behind each other's backs, the way they don't know how to communicate their feelings, and it's just so messy. And the way they let their ego get into it, like a lot of the feelings that we feel sometimes are just our egos. Our egos are hurt. And when that tends to happen, we tend to lash out at people, which I have done in my past, instead of communicating how I really feel. Or just the other people aren't capable of communicating, you know, like I'm not gonna take all the blame for my past like friendship breakup. I'm definitely not gonna take all the blame, because I feel like that would just be like not right either. But it's just a lot of ego wrapped into things, and that's where we always go wrong as humans, is letting our ego get the best of us and not being able to take a step back from the situation, see how the other person is feeling. I also feel like after watching these shows and seeing the way people act, because I feel like a lot of people do act this way, I feel that a lot of people lack empathy. And if you lack empathy, you're not able to take yourself out of the situation, and you're not able to see where the other person is coming from in the situation. And lacking accountability is another huge thing. A lot of people lack accountability, but also expectations. Like when you have high expectations, or you expect people to act a certain way, and you're too rigid with your expectations, like people are always going to disappoint you. And you have to understand that you're also in the wrong by expecting too much from people, expecting people to give you everything. And that's where self-love comes in as well. Because we're feeling a lack within ourselves, and we lash out because, like, say you don't feel worthy, and then people kind of like treat you a certain way or do something to you. It kind of opens that like wound that's in you of not feeling worthy, and then you're gonna lash out at people for opening that wound, but that wound is your wound. It's not other people's to solve or act on or handle, you know what I mean? So that friendship breakup traumatized me. I'm not even going to lie, it definitely traumatized me. I still personally feel that I have a lot of, like, what I keep telling Russ as friendship anxiety. You know how people get like anxious attachment in relationships? I kind of get like that with friendships, especially I noticed like recent relationships, I will overthink things, and I'm just like, oh my God, did I do something wrong? Like, did I say something? You know, because like at the end of the day, everyone that I've met out here in LA, I love them so much, but I still feel like it's so new, and I don't know like if these people really like know me, or like you can meet people and feel like you've known them for years, but there also is a level of trust that time does build. So navigating friendships in adulthood is so much more different than when you were younger. Just like, you really have to make time. I think not enough people look at adult relationships as romantic relationships, but at the end of the day, if we're all human, like, we're gonna want the same things in platonic as romantic. Like, obviously a romantic partner is going to give you a little bit more, like more than a platonic relationship would. But just like a romantic relationship where you have to have like standards and values and know like what you want in a friend, in a person, in a partner, you have to know what you would want in a friend and what you're looking for and what you're willing to accept, like behavior wise and like stuff like that, you know, like, and understanding your love language, because your love language as a person is gonna be applicable to romantic or platonic partners. And really taking notice of like who you feel good around, like who you could spend lots of time with and who drains you. Part of me gets kind of sad because I'm like, oh my God, you know, I see old people and I'm just like, they're all alone. Like, even like when you're old, your family like doesn't spend enough time with you, and it's like, damn, you know, I don't know. When I see old people out with their friends, it makes me so happy, because I'm just like, wow, like that's really, really special to have friends throughout your life at like all stages of your life, whether they're new or old friends. And I think having friends makes us so much happier than if we didn't have friends. I think it improves our lives a lot. It brings us so much joy and love, more so than just like a partner could. So I'm just really, really, really big on friendships, and being self-aware helps a lot with friendships as well. But also, like, not all friendships are the same. I was talking to my good friend, and we talked a lot about friendship in adulthood, and how it's hard. Where do you find them? I've had this conversation with a few friends, and for me, obviously, I meet people at events, but that's not the only place you can meet people. Like, the thing is, we have social media, you guys, so you can meet people on social media, and you just have to go out of your comfort zone. Ask people to hang out if you feel like a connection to them. Like, I don't think people are placed in your life by mistake. So take it to real life. If you really vibe with someone and you know they're in your area, like, you have to look for people. You have to want friendships. You know, like when you want something, you're gonna become a magnet for it. And if you're telling yourself any beliefs or like any thoughts you have that are negative around friendships, like you have to work on that, because mindset is everything. And when it comes to anything in your life, so if you have negative thoughts about friendships, like whether it's like, oh, I can never find people, or no one likes me, or, you know, like any thought that you have built around friends, stop thinking that, because you are a magnet. Also, my friends that we're going to see this weekend, we're actually going because me and my friends who are all married, have kids and whatnot, these are our high school friends, our childhood friends, basically, because high school is like childhood to us now at this point with our age. We're going to see them this weekend because unfortunately we had a friend pass away from, I don't know if I could say that, so it might be blanked out. If I can't, but that was another huge thing in my life that really, I was already having like a spiritual awakening, and you know, things were changing. A lot of things were changing in my life at that time. I was very conscious of, that was like the very beginning of me becoming very self-aware and conscious of the world around me and like my part in the world. And that was something huge that happened to me while I was in LA. Me and Russ were out here and we had to drive home the next day. We just drove out here, and that changed all of our lives forever. And that's something that will bond me and us and our friends together for life, because it was something traumatic. But it also, as negative as it was, there's a silver lining to everything, which is my personal belief. And it just, at that time, reminded me again how short life is and how important it is to love the people around you. And I feel like I really implemented a lot of things in my life since then, and I'm extremely, extremely intentional with the people around me, and I always hope they know how much they mean to me. And I don't think I was as like vocal before maybe, but that made me want to be, because you never know like if someone is going to be gone tomorrow. And so that was the good thing that changed. Life is short. Love your people hard, because this is all you get. But yeah, that was life changing, and that also just really changed the trajectory of how I treat the important people in my life. So it was a good wake-up call, and I have never forgotten about it. It's gonna be 5 years today, 5 years today. I forgot to tell you guys the story of me and my friend talking about friendships. Me and my friend, the girl that does my eyebrows, and we became friends, she texted me randomly the other day, and she was like, oh my gosh, Sarah, I get it now. I get what you were saying. Like, I have been trying to force deep connections with people I know, even though I know they're not at my level of depth, and that's okay. And then she's like, but I just met this girl who owns a coffee shop, who's gonna be like a part of her wedding. And she's like, I had the best conversation with her. I aligned with her so much. Like, we have very similar backgrounds, you know, small business owners, and just so many things. And I'm just like, and she was like, it feels so good to like meet someone with a common mindset. And I was like, yeah, like I came to the conclusion that like friendship in adulthood is just like dating. So if you're having a hard time dating, you might have a hard time finding friends in adulthood. I'm not gonna lie, because it's just as much work. You have to be just as intentional. And there's so much accountability as well when it comes to having mature relationships, with whether they're platonic or romantic. And if you're not in a space where you've like grown or matured, I feel like it will be hard for you to put yourself out there and really put in the work to find people, I guess. It depends. Like, that's just my thought because of like how intentional you have to be and how much effort it takes. And I know a lot of people like don't want to spend that effort, but it is so rewarding when you find friends. And that was another huge like reason why we moved out here in the first place, was I wanted to meet like-minded people. I don't have coworkers anymore, so I was like, you know what? Let me go to LA and find some new friends. And that's what you call intention. Like, I came with the intention to make some damn friends when I came out here. But another thing I've learned, especially with like a friend breakup, is, and just like with how temporary everything is in this life, I've learned this like in the last year or so, truly, is not everyone, I've heard it, just like all of us have said the saying, like sometimes people are in your life for a season only, and I feel like I've really come to understand that saying in the last year or so. I used to really like get worked up about people like not staying in my life, and also like just being someone who's kind of like friends with a lot of people but maybe not like a tight-knit group. I feel like having a lot of depth with someone is so much more important to me than having a big group of friends. Like when I was younger, I think my ego enjoyed having like a large group of friends, like, ooh, look at us, look at this big group, whatever, you know, like there was like power in a group, and that was just so like ego based, to where like now I'm just me, and I'm just looking to meet people at a really deep level, and whether that's just like one hangout or a year of hangouts or whatever, like it is what it is. And I'm just always so thankful that like I get the opportunity to be in these people's lives and they were in my life, because I can learn something from everybody, and not just from them, but from the experience of being in the relationship with them. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Those are my personal like outlooks on, I was gonna say makeup, on friendships and adulthood. So what else did I want to tell you guys? I went to an amazing event yesterday, seminar, summit, whatever, with Tower 28, and it was just so good. I feel so aligned. Ever since my birthday, I was telling you guys, I just feel really, really good. And maybe because like after my birthday, a lot of lessons just came, like I feel like I closed them out. It was like these lessons that were like open, these tabs, and I finally was able to understand them and now close them out, and I feel so much lighter. It's like having a million tabs open in your head, and then all of a sudden they're all closed and there's so much peace. That's how I feel, and it's so crazy. And I love learning about myself. I love learning about other people, and the best way for me to do that is through friendships. So I think really understanding yourself is going to go a long way. The relationship you have, like the relationship you have with yourself, is going to go a long way in your romantic and platonic partnerships. So really honing in on what it is you need as a person. Like, do you even need friends? Like, I feel like some people don't need friends like I do. Not everyone has to have friendships to thrive in the way that I do. So just being self-aware enough to know and understand that is really important. So as much as I'm like, friendships are so important, it really is the relationship with yourself first that is the most important, and then everything will go from there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this get ready with me. I love having talks like this. I know I like am all over the place sometimes, but just to recap, friends don't have to last forever. Some people are only in your life for a season, and that's okay. Not being part of big friend groups or any friends is okay. Understanding yourself is going to help you attract the people that you want and need in your life, and cherish the people who are in your life. Cherish the people who support you. But also, another thing I didn't mention is you have to give people what you want, or just know your strengths and what you offer people, and make sure you're meeting people halfway. It doesn't have to be the same effort. Like, some people are gift givers, but I feel like for me, maybe I'm not a gift giver. I want to be now because all my friends are gift givers and I love it so much, but I'm just someone who like, I love to be there for people and listen and always show them trust and loyalty and kindness and an open heart. And that's like something that I really love, really hope to offer everyone that I know. And yeah, those are my tips on friendships and things that I've just learned throughout my 34 years on this earth about friendships and myself. So I hope you guys learned something today from it too. And I'm just packing my makeup here. And I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the topics. I'll see you guys next time.